Well, now we can start this amazing meeting with Bootsy Holler Giulia Leonelli. We are very proud and very happy with these two artists. So we are very excited about their presentations, really. Thank you very much, both of you, for being here, really. So we start with Bootsy.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Well, Bootsy Holler is an American artist who has spent more than half her life creating art that revolves around family, emotions, memory, nature, and giving feelings to the inanimate. Holler's images have been exhibited in galleries and publications around the world. Sorry,
Because there is something up here.
The encounter will be recorded, Diana, and you are able to see it later.
It's not necessary for you to record.
Yes. Well, continue. Holler's images have been exhibited in galleries and publications around the world. Her seminal work from the Seattle music scene is in the permanent collection of the Grammy Museum. In 2020, she was invited to exhibit at the Shanghai International Photo Festival and Photo Fever in Paris. In 2018, she published her second monograph, Treasures, Objects I've Done All My Life, and is working on a new book. Holler lives in the Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles in a modern treehouse with her husband, son, and dogs. Her images come to her through personal emotions, her subconscious, and her meditative visions. Dear Bootsy, it's a pleasure to see you, and the audience is yours.
Hi. So maybe I should just talk about my experience a little bit before I show the work. So for me, when I came, I had been in London at Photo London. And so my one advice to people that come is maybe don't do a week-long show before you arrive. Because I was not feeling super great when I landed there. So I think coming in a few days early is smart, right? And getting your time and clock all on the same schedule as Cantabria, and maybe just being in a healthy state. So for me, it was a little bit hard because I showed up and I wasn't feeling great. So even though I was given a nice like chunk of time to really get to creating this piece, you know, when you're not well, it's hard to create. So I really had to, you know, sit with myself and be okay with that, which was a lesson in itself. And these two beautiful people, you know, gave me that space, which was amazing, you know, to have the time and the support to just sit with yourself, even though stuff isn't coming up. And often for me, the way my work comes, it comes just sometimes just fully formed out of my head. I did have to work on writing, and I was encouraged to write. And what was coming up for me was my father had just passed away in December, and this was May. And I had a lot of other stuff going on. And so I hadn't really sat and taken the time to really, realize his death and sit with it and think about it. So, it was very much a gift to be able to sit with myself and really think about, what had been happening in my life recently. And though I went out in nature and went to the ocean a lot, and I was feeling the sounds and listening to the birds and the ocean coming in and out, and I just I hadn't figured out what I was gonna, really run with. And three days before the end, I just had an explosion in my brain, and I was like, this is it. I know what I'm doing now. And, I took the writing they had encouraged me to do. So I had been doing writing, but I just hadn't figured out how to pull the whole piece together. And so, so then I was able to sit down and, really create the piece pretty fast, because I had been sitting in it for a while. I also had a lifetime with my father. So all that stuff on top of sitting with it, it all came in really fast, because I knew exactly where I was going. Then I can go really quickly to finish what it is that has, blown in my brain, and then I'm ready to make it. So I was thinking I could share the screen and maybe put it back in Spanish so that the people can read it maybe first, or
as you prefer. Don't worry in relation to the Spanish, because
okay.
it will be recorded, so later anyone will be able to see it. So don't worry about it.
Okay, so I'm going to share screen. And my share sound is on. Okay. Well, it's in Spanish anyways. And so just for everybody to know, the piece is really fast. It's only 30 seconds long, and I can show it again. And we can also look at the still photos, and I can talk through some of the video and how I created it. And then if we want to watch it again, we can, because it's fast. Okay, so, oops, stop. Okay, move out of the way, little bar. Okay. Okay. Make sure your volume's up, and let's go.
Remember when you were hunting on the day I was born? Remember when we climbed Mount Rainier? Remember when you coached my softball team? Remember when we would watch football together? Remember when you would sharpen my pencils with your pocket knife? Remember when Mount St. Helens blew up? Remember when we would go skiing every weekend? Remember when you made my birthday cake? Remember telling me if I'm happy with the person in the mirror, then everything is okay? Remember when you helped me with my math?
So that was really fast. But for me, when it came to me that fast, and it was all memories. Remember when this, remember when, and we have millions of those memories with our family. And so I wrote them all on these little pieces of paper, all my memories, as many as I could come up with. And then I tied them all into knots. And I had been playing with a kaleidoscope that I bought at the gift store at the museum. And so this bottom left one, you know, is the kaleidoscope, and it really fit in with the knots and the entanglement of memories and time, and kind of bringing all that back together. And then me and the other two gals that were with me during the residency, we went down to the beach, and then I lit everything on fire, and we burned it, and they helped me do the video and stuff for that. So that was like a big letting go at the ocean, and it just felt like a whole episode of life kind of coming and going in a moment, you know. So
Bootsy, sorry,
yeah.
I interrupt you. If you click on the photo, you can the photo appears alone, and yes, and completely.
There we
Yes.
go. Yeah. So they're all different, and I had to kind of just choose which ones I was going to talk about. So I kind of sat for a whole day and did writing in my journal before I created all the ones on the piece of paper. So it was really cathartic also, just to go through each memory, be with it, tie it up, let it go. Oops. That beautiful bowl was there. I love the entanglement of time and place and memory, and how memory doesn't really always, it's not always the truth memory, and it can be warped. And that's pretty much what the, you know, the nodding represents, you know, just the warping of time, the kaleidoscope of life, and everything that comes through. And then I dug a little hole, you know, down at the beach where someone else had had a fire. So I kind of redid it, and let everything go. So it was a really beautiful experience, and it was really great to be given the time to sit with myself and really explore, you know, what had just happened, you know, when your family, you know, when somebody you love so much dies, you know, it's intense. And I think I'm still, you know, I'm still dealing with it, you know, doesn't go away, right? So should I play the video one more time, and then?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, please,
please.
yes.
Please, please, please.
Okay, one more time.
Remember when you were hunting on the day I was born? Remember when we climbed Mount Rainier? Remember when you coached my softball team? Remember when we would watch football together? Remember when you would sharpen my pencils with your pocket knife? Remember when Mount St. Helens blew up? Remember when we would go skiing every weekend? Remember when you made my birthday cake? Remember telling me if I'm happy with the person in the mirror, then everything is okay? Remember when you helped me with my math?
There we go. I mean, my dad was pretty much a lot of life lessons for me. And, you know, even to today, you know, I say those things to my son, you know, so, you know, they're with us all the time. I mean, do you want to take questions, or anyone want to ask any questions?
Don't worry about the questions, Bootsy, because
Okay.
at the end, all together, we will be able to ask you and also Julia.
Great.
So if you finish your amazing presentation, we continue with Julia.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much. Thank you very much.
Well, Giulia Leonelli.
Sorry.
Yeah. Good. Giulia Leonelli, artist, PhD degree in visual arts and printmaking instructor in the University Paris 1 Panthéon-Sorbonne. Giulia Leonelli is a French-Italian artist who holds a doctorate degree in visual arts from the University Paris 1 Panthéon-Sorbonne, where she teaches as a printmaker instructor. After a bachelor in fine arts at Rome University of Fine Arts, she enrolled at Sorbonne University in Paris in 2009. In 2012, she was chosen as a recipient for the French American Young Talents Award, for which she was selected to attend the MFA Studio Art program at New York University. Her work is oriented toward a pictorial approach of printmaking, led by a musical aspiration and a poetic intent. Her doctoral thesis, my French is very, very
No
bad.
problem.
Entendre pictorial discusses the temporal understanding of an artwork by experiencing its unfolding as space and time, and the implications of rhythm and sensation of philosophical attributes of art. Her work has been shown in several exhibitions in Italy, France, Spain, Denmark, United Kingdom, and the United States. Dear Julia, many thanks. The audience is yours.
So first of all, thank you to everybody for attending this meeting, and a huge thank you to Andrea and Gabriel for everything and for allowing us to make this experience at NAT Art Residence. It's always very challenging for me to try to put into words this experience because things happened on several levels. And so before going to my artistic project, I would like just to try to put some words on what inspired me. And the first thing, of course, was to be in such an amazing place and be surrounded by a natural spot. So really beautiful. So then the residency house in Tagle is near the ocean and the cliff. And I had this experience to facing nature and just to feel to be one with nature, to feel the oneness, to forget any separation. And it's so easily when you are in nature to feel that we belong to only one thing and that the environment inhabits us somehow. And also very important were the visit at the caves, because in Cantabria there are an exceptional concentration of caves decorated from the Paleolithic era. And just staring at these drawings made thousands of years ago give me an impression of life. You can feel that they are still alive, is a trace of a presence. And you don't really need to know who they were, this human being, because it's so self-evident. You are moved on the spot. You are really moved by this. And
Oops.
okay. And so this facing these drawings was really impressing me. And also the fact that these drawings were made in very dark part of the cave, so it was like putting some lights in a dark environment, and they were supposed to be seen with a flame. And so there was an idea of movement in my mind. I was receiving a feeling, an emotion of the way humans can put light in darkness, and the way we have to cross both in life, light and darkness. So can you hear me, everybody? Yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, because my screen is okay. It was so this, and also the caves themselves. It was for me the first time I was walking in a cave, and just going underneath the ground and discover this huge space. It was like a natural cathedral that really impressed me. And there again, I felt this opposition of between going underneath and discovering like an inner sky, like an inverted sky somehow, because it was so beautiful. It was like the most beautiful architecture I ever seen. So huge, so high, I had a feeling of the sky, like a sky underneath the earth, and it's an inner sky maybe. So from that moment, I had in my mind this word in Spanish, invocación de la vida. There was something that was happening, and that carried with it both the element of light and darkness, of inner and outer space. And so this was the beginning of an emotion, let's say. And then, so I will try to share my screen just to let you see a bit of my project. So yes, with some drawing. We were working in the natural park of Carejo, and we spent some hour of working there, and I had to find a place that inspired us to make an artistic project. And since the beginning, I was attracted. I don't have a photo here, but I was attracted by the sound of the river, the Sahara River, because now I can tell that. Now I realize that the sound of the river with this flowing is what unifies light and darkness, and is exactly it was my unconscious response to the feeling I had, that humans had to go through a lot of opposition and find a way to go through it with a kind of balance. So I am a printmaker, so I use paper usually, but I have to say it was not comfortable in this context, because we were in an open space and everything was so bright. And instead of wearing sunglasses, I just decided very quickly that I wouldn't wear any kind of correction glasses. So I was in a kind of blur of vision, just to allow my outer senses to be open. And that's where the sound of the river came. So what I've done here was just drawing with the river and try to be the river itself. So I will show you just a video. If I can put it larger, I guess it's here. Yes. Okay. So this is what I was doing day after day, was finding a way to to draw, and I felt I had to go fast. It was like a dance where I was not focusing on my visual, on the visual element that were appearing on the paper. And I didn't want to control the composition, but it was just a matter of gesture. And I felt I was composing like a composer because a lot of elements were interfering and coming to me. The sound of the river, but also the quality of the air, the clouds above. And I just have to let all of this element cross myself, my body, and make something on the paper. And then to be less deliberate, to have really no intention of composition. I just put some stones on the paper and let them dance, and with my oil stick go around them.
Julia, sorry.
And
sorry,
see, yes.
We are not watching your video.
Oh,
No.
really?
No. We haven't seen
Weird.
no videos, no photos at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
Only you. That's fine, but only you. For you to know.
It was not my intention. I'm sorry.
Okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will try again.
Do you prefer
broadcast.
that we share the screen?
Oh, I guess now it's okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I would start again with the video. Sorry. Yes. Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
Don't worry.
So this is the drawing I was talking about, and the rhythmic drawing with the sound of the river. And the other thing I have to say is that it was an oil pastel, so with the heat, at some point it started to melt, and I had to go faster. It was day after day. It was also a matter of simplifying what I was doing, so using the less medium possible, just making the gesture. And there was something very liberating in all of that for me, because it was really like a dance. And at the same time, I felt that there was a sense. It was going somewhere, even if I couldn't control it at this stage. And this is the point where I use the small stones, to forget about composition, to let them happen somehow. And it was an exercise of openness, be open to what happened, and let things dance as they have to. And it's very different from what I usually do in printmaking, where I work for a lot of time on plate, very close to the metal plate with magnifier. So exit. Okay. And so these were the drawings. I realized at some point that the drawing, if I put them one next to the other one, they could create a sequence. So I've tried to find a way to give them a sense, let's say. I tried different options, and at some point I just told myself that maybe I should give back the drawings to where they came, to the river. And that's when I put them at the entrance of the river on the rocks. And I have to say that what the most moving part for me was when I had to choose how to put them. I was walking among the rocks, and the moving part for me was just to to see the water among the drawings, and there was something touching about it, just to see, because the water has this ability to adjust to every kind of shape, you know. So that's why it is the response to this quest of going beyond oppositions. And there are the drawings I made with stones, the stone drawing, you can say. And I just took pictures after drawing. It was a very quick exercise. This one, I guess I made them in 1 hour, 7 different drawings. And then this was the last day I went on the cliff, and I want to talk you about the cliff a little bit. So I went to the cliff of Punta Bayota, and I have a picture just here. And I spent every day of the residency, I felt that I have to walk on the top of the cliff, really to the point of the Punta Bayota. And this was, with no exaggeration at all, a kind of life-changing experience, because I was really scared. I have to say, I could not even stand on my feet while I was approaching the point of the cliff, but out of desire, I really desired to see what was happening underneath. So the last meter, I was just dragging myself to the border, and then staring at the foam breaking on the rocks, and just surrendering. I spent hours just surrendering to the ground, just laying down on the ground, and I feel that this is a sense of surrendering, to acceptance, you know, just staring at the sky, accepting everything has to come. It was like I found there my place, the place where I can deal with everything that happens in life, with light and darkness, with all kind of fears. And to be in this place, I had to cross all my fears. It was such a deep experience for me. And the last day on the cliff, I did these stone drawings that I showed you before, this ones. And then, because it was a water-soluble pastel, I just thought that I could add some water. And what happened really surprised me, because it was like I found here some shapes that were in the caves. So the shape appearings really astonished me, because they surprised really me. And at this point, I understood that maybe the project was done. And the last thing, the very last thing I did was to write, because writing is so important for me in my life in general, not as an artistic practice, but just in life. Writing is important. And so the last thing that came to me was the title of my project, because since the beginning I felt that I was composing, that I was like a composer, had to deal with a lot of things and put them together somehow. And the last day, I realized that in French, composing with something means facing, dealing with. Hacer frente, lidiar con in Spanish. So the title of my project is Componer con la vida, which in French means dealing with life, with everything that happens, with every kind of fear we have to go through, with every kind of joy. And so I don't know if all of this can be clear, you know, because it's such a dense experience. A lot of things happen, but I would really love to share with you the text, the English text I wrote to try to condense this experience, try to put into words in the simplest way I can, just to give it a sense. So in order to finish, I would like to share with you this text. Maybe I will just come back to the screen with no share screen. Okay, so okay, can you see me? It's okay.
Yes.
Perfect, yes.
Okay. So this is the text just to introduce all of these experiences and the artistic project too. Nature awakes a sense of awareness toward life, toward aliveness, being light as well as shadow, toward time itself, that is everywhere, that is nowhere to be seen. Nature directs us to compose with life in order to embrace all sort of loss, all the fear we have to get through, in order to receive all the joy, all the beauty we are able to disclose and give back. Composing with my body as a vehicle, I've tried to flow with the river up to the tips of my fingers. I had to walk every single day to the point of the cliff just to encounter my fear out of desire. And I gave back all of this to the paper, where my journey on earth finds its best achievement. Now I know that even the stone can dance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
dear Giulia. Thank you very much, dear Bootsy, too. So now you can open your microphones and talk with them, because we are wordless. Thank you, really, Giulia. Thank you, really, Bootsy, because both projects were amazing, very, very moving, very intense, and we are again very, very moved. So thank you very much. So we invite all of you to ask Bootsy, Giulia, or comments or whatever you want. So
Jane, yes. I see you.
I see you too. I just wanted to respond to Bootsy's introductory comments. Hi, Bootsy. About the message warning people to arrive well rested and ready, and not come from an event. And I will say that I did that. I took a couple days to rest in Barcelona before coming. And I arrived at the residency and said, okay, I'm going to start working. You know, where's my table? I want to get to work. And they said, no, you can't. What do you mean I can't? They're like, no, you just need to be here and be present. And they're like, you're not allowed to start working. So I think, Bootsy, the time that you had to just recover was the process. And if you had shown up and thought, I'm going to dive in, I mean, it was such a learning experience for me to get out of my head and to get out of my ritual of this is the normal way I work and I'm going to get started. And, you know, they said, no, go out and go on a walk. Don't make art yet. And it stressed me out. I'm like, I only have so much time. I need to get started. And on day 4, I came back and sheepishly admitted, okay, I cheated. I made a video. And I don't make video. So even that cheating was outside of my element. So honestly, I say arrive exhausted, arrive tired, arrive disrupted, because that disruption will open the door to you. And it gave you the room to make work you don't normally make, I think. So I love it.
Yeah, for sure. And sitting with yourself is really hard. So that is true. And not feeling like you're failing while you're there because you're not doing anything amazing yet, you know.
Yes. And then I had the exact same experience. As my work all kind of came together in about, 4 days maybe, which felt very rushed, but it was like I needed that initial time to just be and process and understand and grow. And that doesn't happen the minute you get off the plane.
Yeah, true.
Oh, well done.
Thanks, Jane.
And on a side note to Giulia, the again, the same sort of thing, the drawings of the rocks, like looking at one individually, you're like, that's, I don't really get it. And then to see the accumulation of them and to see them change, it's like, it's a growing piece, and the collection of them is just so beautiful, and the motion is all there. So I thought that was really intriguing as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
Many
Jane.
thanks.
Yeah.
Somebody else? Randy? You?
Yeah. Oh, how'd you know? How'd you know?
Yeah. I know.
So I had it was interesting to me to observe both responses, as artists, and how deeply you both went into yourself with that challenge of just being in this new environment. So for Bootsy, I also have experienced a parental loss, and I know Jane hasn't, probably most of us sitting here have, but how fresh it is what's challenging. And just, I found your expression just beautiful. It was, I don't know, I don't even have words to express what I've noticed, but I really appreciate it. And then nodding it as I'm still processing my mother's passing. And Giulia, you were talking about the cave, the cliff, the water, and I'm still fascinated by the Paleolithic, the caves, this like never-ending, everlasting humanness that keeps repeating. And I felt like you were really you left your body almost and became one with that whole kind of a simpatico I had with you in that experience. So both of you, who I do not know, I think, congratulations. You both touched me deeply.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, any other comments?
Meredith, you?
Very quiet.
You have to want to say something.
Yes,
I think.
I really appreciate both responses, both works that were done at the residency. They're so as I've been watching all the charlas, they've been so diverse and so personal. It's wonderful. And particularly I'm interested because I draw a lot. So I was really responded to Giulia's drawing and the way she drew that aspect of synesthesia, where she's hearing the river and drawing a visual image and then feeling the water on her paper. It's, bringing so much to the process. And there's just beautiful, beautiful drawings. And I wondered if she thought that she might take some of that experience and put it into her printmaking afterwards, and in a way of capturing that same feeling, or even using the process of the way she was drawing on the paper to draw on a plate or something back in her studio. I wondered about that. Oh.
I definitely thought that I have to pursue something in that, but for now, I haven't found a way, let's say, to do it. But I have to say, what changed a bit is that what I was drawing in nature, I was so open to everything. And now when I'm on my table with my metal plate and my tools, I just realized that really the shape doesn't really concern me as long as I am open to what the tools and the metal and are telling me. And this is kind of changing because it's not just focusing, but it's just letting the material happen somehow, and it guides me. And this is symbiosis somehow, and I'm not directing anything, I have to listen. That's it. I have to listen. Even in printmaking, I have to listen the material, and this was a great lesson. Anyway, thank you for your comment. Really, thank you very much.
Huge. That's a huge thing to take away with you.
Yes.
And that you're working in nature on like those rough surfaces, rough rocks, and letting go of that. Yeah.
Yes, it opened me to the possibility to work outside. I was not prepared to it, and now I have to say, I feel like I can work everywhere, and this is beautiful.
Right.
Thank you.
Well,
I don't know
if there is no other comments, I would like to.
Sorry.
Yes.
I think that Renata is having. Want to say something? I think.
Yes, you have incredible intuition. I was just thinking about Bootsy's work, and it reminded me of the book I have read some time ago, and it was regarding, because I'm Polish, so it means, well, I'm Slavic, and I was reading some books about regarding some old-fashioned traditions that have been forgotten. And one of the traditions was regarding labor. And in Polish, another word for labor would be untangling. And for that reason, there was a superstition that in the very room where a woman is going into labor, there cannot be a single knot tied, not on the clothes, nowhere, because it's going to bring some bad luck. And in this context, you saying goodbye by making a knot makes a beautiful sense. As the opposition of this untangling things for the labor. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that story. That's good understanding. Yeah. Interesting. Also, my birth name is Rebecca, and Rebecca means to not, or something like that.
Unbelievable.
You're just making me think of that. And my father named me. So it must have been some kind of weird divine.
Yes.
Moment.
That's the universe at its work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know where the knots came from. I had all the words, and I had the strips and the visual of tying them in knots, and then letting them go. Almost like also in Japanese, you put the little boat and you put it in the water, kind of that kind of action, and then letting go.
Absolutely. Beautiful work. Congratulations.
Thanks for speaking, and thanks for Gabrielle pushing her.
Well, thank you very much to everyone to be here.
Sorry.
Yes.
I think Christy. I think Christy.
No, I wasn't thinking of a specific question, but I'm very happy to have heard about both of y'all's work. I'm gonna do the residency next April, and so it's really interesting to see what what people have made there and hear more about the experience. Both of y'all's work was amazing. Thank you for talking about it.
Okay, many thanks.
Thank
Many
you.
thanks.
Yeah.
Well, the process that Bootsy and Giulia made here were both very, very intense, and the process indeed were amazing, because not only the result of the work that is very beautiful, but the process indeed were, both processes were really very, very moving and very intense. And we were there, so we are very, very lucky people, because we were with them at that wonderful and amazing moment. So thank you to both of you. I would like, if you want to close this meeting, just Bootsy and Giulia said something to close it.
I mean, I just,
Excuse me.
yeah, go.
Elizabeth, please tell them your message. I don't think I can. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, we'll send you the text messages.
Yes, then.
And then, okay. Sorry, Rebecca, please.
Okay.
Very nice name. I love. It's very nice, really.
Okay, you want me to say goodbye?
Yes.
Yes.
Just to finish and to close.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just, thank you to what you guys have envisioned, how you open yourselves up, how you bring people in, and how you let people, sit and work with their mind and their hands, and, encouraging. I think it's a real meditation for you guys to watch people come to these places, and being able to kind of hands off at the same time as, pushing, and I had never done a residency before, so I really didn't know what to expect. And, it was a really beautiful experience. And the two gals that were with me at the time were also amazing. And I learned from them. And I think that was really special, because we actually had a bond when we left. And I know that's different for some residencies. So I think being together in the quarters was also a learning experience to be with other artists. And I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. It's very beautiful. So thank you.
Thanks. Many
so
thanks,
much.
Lucy. Many thanks. Many
Lovely.
thanks. Yeah.
Giulia, you.
Yes. So I cannot say anything else but thank you so deeply for everything, for all this devotion, for the support we received being there. And it's such a privilege to be in this place and to be with you in this place, because for me, with no exaggeration, as I told before, it was a life-changing experience. Something happened, and I don't feel the same respect who I was before coming there. And now today, the most beautiful thing for me is try to share. It's always complicated because a lot of things happened, and it's so dense, in my heart and in my mind. But it's for me it's beautiful to share with people what was this experience. And it's true, it was an encounter with other human beings, very strong, with you and with the other two fellows artists. And it was a blessing. It was something that arrives in life like a blessing. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you to you both. And we love you, ladies.
All, and many thanks you all for being here, sharing this moment with them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing,
Thank you very
everybody.
much
Bye-bye.
to all, and see you.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Oh, see you
Take
Bye.
care of you.
Bye.